Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengal fan, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, repping the Bengals for the AFC Northerners, and it's getting harder and harder just to rep the Bengals, period. I mean, these videos are getting tougher and tougher to make. I promised you a recap video. I always deliver on my promises, so let's do it. I'm not going to keep you long, so any of you who've watched the game know there's not a whole lot to talk about. But this team had an opportunity early to jump out and get ahead. And I said scheme was going to be important. But once again, red zone issues continue. Couldn't punch the ball in. Held them on a fourth down. Our defense really played well, but I understand that when you keep coming back out on the field and the offense hasn't put any points on the board, eventually the defense loses focus and they lose motivation, and you could really see it. I think this game really turned on the strip sack fumble. Looked like we were getting into a rhythm. It's a 10-3 game at that point. We could just come away with points at that juncture of the game. It's, late in the second quarter. I think we take a completely different attitude into the locker room. And the defense has some belief that, hey, we're in this thing. And that strip sack, just the whole tone, the demeanor of the team, the demeanor of the players, everything changed after that. And I can accept, losing. When we lost to the Bills, they were a better team. When we lost to the Niners, they're a better team. When we lost to Seattle, we should have won the Seattle game, but they're still a solid squad. This was not a good team we lost to tonight, which tells us that we're terrible. I mean, if this is the team we lost to, 28th in rushing, if this is the team we lost to, we're terrible. We're a bad team. And this offensive line, I mean, it's just pathetic. I don't know how else to say it. It's incredible to watch just how bad they are. We can't open up holes, and I feel bad for Mixon. There's a lot of good pieces on this team, but without protection and without a scheme, without an offensive line, we're doomed. So I don't know. I know that we want to get Zach. I know that Zach wants to get his first win. Maybe that happens this week with Arizona. Maybe it doesn't. So, Arizona at least played a team to a tie. We haven't even been able to do that. So I don't know where this is. At some point in the next couple weeks, we're going to have to start seeing what we have. We need to know what we need going into the draft. Clearly, we've been handcuffed losing both of our tackles before the start of the season. But we need to know what we have. We need to know what we have in Ryan Finley. We need to see what we've got, and we need to start gelling. We're not gonna tank for Tua. First of all, I don't want Tua. I don't want him. I think he's going to be another A.J. McCarron, Alabama quarterback. No, we don't want Tua. Trevor Lawrence maybe in a couple years, but we don't want Tua. Our quarterback's not in this draft coming out. So, and Ryan Finley showed flashes, but I want to temper everybody's feelings. He showed flashes against the 2s and 3s and 4s when there was no scheme, when it was man-to-man, where people weren't showing their whole playbook. It's really easy to diagnose and read stuff when it's a very generic vanilla defense you're playing. So I want to see how he responds and how he plays coming in. But we need to figure out what we have before we go into the draft next year, and that's going to happen sooner rather than later, because it's clear with this offensive line, we don't have anybody coming off of the IR that's going to help out our O-line. Jonah Williams is done for the year. We don't know if Cordy Glenn's ever coming back. Tackles don't grow on trees, okay? It was Mike Brown's job to put more money into this team in free agency, and he failed to do that. We needed to pull the trigger. We needed to find a way to trade up in the second round and get Cody Ford or get Jawan Taylor, who fell into day 2 of the draft. We needed to go up there and get that. That needed to happen. That's ownership. That's, so we need to see what we have. But there's nothing else that's going to change this year, not with this offensive line. Coaching's not going to do it. And like I said, there's nobody coming off the IR that's going to be helping us. A.J. Green can come back. A.J. Green, missing a wide receiver is not the reason why we're not winning games. We're not winning games because we can't run the ball. When you watch the initial snap, and you can go to any of the 4 games we've had this season, when you watch that initial snap, you'll see good offensive line, like the Steelers tonight, good offensive lines pushing the defense back 2 yards. Just initially off the snap, getting that penetration. When you watch our offensive line, we fall back a yard or two. We never get any penetration. Can't run, can't pass. And so you have to scheme around that. So, but nothing's going to change here. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any words of wisdom or anything. It's just tough. I tweeted out one thing tonight. I do want to apologize to people who follow me on Twitter because I'm using very active, and I only tweeted out how hard it is to be a Bengal fan, and it's hard. This team's hard to follow. This team's hard to root for. We stick with them because we're loyal. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not abandoning this team, but it's tough. It's tough. So that's where we're at. I'm going to reinstitute. I was watching the game. I want to thank Heath and Riley for hosting me again this week. It was really nice. My daughter and I went over there and we watched the game with them. Couldn't go to a loud bar, and I didn't want to be around Steeler fans. So I went ahead. We watched the game there. And he said, you don't say fuck Mike Brown anymore in your closing. And I said, well, I took some grief. People always said, love the video, but I don't like the ending. But you know what? It's apropos. I'm going to start ending my videos again with fuck Mike Brown until we win a playoff game. That's simple. Until you give us an offensive line that's worth rooting for. There's no need to draft a quarterback who's going to be running for his life. So with that, like I said, I'm going to say fuck Mike Brown until we get back to the playoffs. And have a good week, everybody. I'll try to get a preview video up. I'll do my best. Okay? Take care, everybody.